Like any other city, Cape Town is a melting pot of many kinds of people. Unlike most other citizens, however, Cape Townians share a fierce pride in a place they believe to be more beautiful, more remarkable than any other in the world. Perhaps they exaggerate. Perhaps they're right. What is a city, said William Shakespeare, but its people? And as guardians of a city with some very special traditions, the Cape Town City Council has a critical role to play in every aspect that affects the lives of the citizens of Cape Town. From the provision of basic services to the planning and care of an environment we know to be extraordinary. From the careful consideration of a heritage that is unique to the promotion of the city's full economic potential for the sake of all its people. On Wednesday, the 13th of September, 1989, the Mayor of Cape Town demonstrated a very important principle. The principle that the leaders of the city must help light the path to a future that those of us who love our city and our country will all eventually share. It was by no means the first time Cape Town had shown courage in the face of injustice, but it was, nevertheless, an occasion that symbolized for many the important role our city leadership must play in the forging of a new society. Economic viability is a precondition for social prosperity and progress. And the Cape Town City Council has, over recent years, sought to steer a steady course through a period of increasing unemployment, inflation, sanctions, disinvestment, immigration, and political and social instability. Bold economic measures have served the city well in a time of crisis. And the Council has led the field in its moves to deregulate the activities of the informal sector, giving birth to a boom in activities such as mobile vending and street markets, as well as creating valuable opportunities for self-employment and home industries in areas where unemployment is high. With the traditional business sector, too, the Council has succeeded in forging excellent relationships. And a growing number of joint ventures demonstrate a rare spirit of cooperation in the city and its suburbs. While a new growth area, the promotion of the city as a center of high technology, forms an important part of the Council's planning for the future. Tourism is the world's largest and most profitable industry. And in Cape Town, already South Africa's leading tourist center, there are exciting possibilities for the growth and expansion of the tourist industry, creating many new jobs for Cape Townians. But Cape Town has never lost sight of the fact that it has a role to play in its greater context. And a critical part of the overall economic initiative is the promotion of regional cooperation, of recognizing the importance of working within the larger framework, and the sharing of common interests, goals, and objectives throughout the Western Cape. What is it, though, that makes this city so special, both to its citizens and to those who visit it? Cape Town's spectacular natural environment combines with a built heritage that dates from its growth from a small nomadic community to a port of haven to a settlement until finally it became a major African city. Some of this legacy is still preserved in many of the historical landmarks around us. And like the natural environment, must be guarded with love and care, preserved, revitalized, and where time, lack of wisdom, and insensitivity have destroyed, restored within the context of the late 20th century. The recent efforts to revitalize the waterfront, that for many years played a major role in Cape Town's social and economic life, is a project very close to the heart of the City Council, and is the result of many years of negotiation and planning with both government and private sector. Other initiatives to identify and select areas of the city for preservation and refurbishing must be carefully balanced with the need to encourage the shopping and commerce that is the lifeblood of the city. Important historic buildings must be considered, as must the major investment and corporate projects that keep the city alive. The needs of the motorist must be served, and so must the needs of the pedestrian, who can now stroll around St. George's Mall or shop undisturbed by traffic in underground walkways. It's a delicate balance, and one that requires constant vigilance and care in order that the interests of all Cape Townians be considered. Humanizing the city is an active, living philosophy at the City Council, a philosophy that incorporates the preservation of our mountain environment, our unique flora and fauna, our beautiful and varied coastline, our forests, and our inland reserves and waterways, while at the same time our recreational facilities, beaches, public parks, swimming pools and sports grounds must provide for the city the spaces it needs for its health and leisure. All this must be done within a context that protects and develops our natural heritage, while incorporating the needs, the sensitivities, and the leisure time activities of all our people. Humanizing means beautifying the built environment too. And Cape Town's traditional Arbor Day celebrations involve not only the planting of trees, but are a time to pay tribute to those individuals, communities, and organizations which have made their own contribution to our city. In a city where poverty and deprivation face many of our citizens, the Cape Town City Council is deeply committed to providing a network of support services, helping to create for all our communities the opportunities to take control of their lives. But too often, simple survival is a daily battle. The housing shortage, perhaps the greatest single problem that faces the wider Cape Town community, is critical. And the City Council is actively involved in initiating self-help housing schemes, helping provide financial assistance for home ownership, as well as reviewing existing legislation with a view to making building regulations more flexible. Public health and safety in a city facing widespread poverty are also matters for constant vigilance and concern. And the City Council has played an important role in the creation of community structures. Clinics serve a variety of needs, from the inoculation of babies, to nutrition, to the care of the aged. And there are projects involving home visiting, community liaison, and an ongoing program to monitor and attempt to control socio-economic diseases such as tuberculosis and AIDS. Many of these programs are carried out in cooperation with other sectors, and the long-term reduction in infant mortality rates is testimony to a working collaboration between the City Council and the University of Cape Town Teaching Hospitals. The promotion of safety on our roads is another critically important area of operation, including a range of proactive measures such as the school driver program, driver training in the public sector, a far-reaching child education program to promote safety in traffic, and a new initiative to establish a working liaison with the Combi taxi associations. The Cape Town City Council consists of a body of elected councillors, headed by the Mayor, whose task it is to create policy for the city, and an administration headed by the Town Clerk and Corporate Management Team, whose function it is to administer the daily affairs of Cape Town. Within and around this basic structure are woven the many departments and committees that together keep the city running efficiently, supplying electricity, cleaning our streets, scrutinizing and approving plans, negotiating with the private sector, putting out fires, directing traffic, administering abattoirs and markets, lending us books, running our ambulances, designing and maintaining our roads, drawing up budgets, and emptying our dustbins. Each of these and many more activities helps lay the foundation of a well-run city. Each plays a part in the intricate network that makes up the machinery of city government. The Liberal Cape. It's a phrase that has been used in praise and in condemnation. A phrase that, in a country torn for over 40 years by political forces beyond the control of any one region, must, at best, be comparative. But there is, nevertheless, a tradition amongst many Cape Townians for speaking up, for protesting against what is seen as unjust, for adopting an independent position, for testing the limits of the framework within which it has always been obliged to work, and above all, for caring for its own, the people who live and work in Cape Town. It was Cape Town which opposed from the start the implementation of group areas in the city. Cape Town which refused to erect apartheid signs on the beaches, vigorously resisting the injunctions of the Separate Amenities Act. It was Cape Town which opposed the laws designed to remove from many of our citizens the right to vote and serve at local government level. Cape Town, which declared the first open trading area in the central city. Cape Town, which first fought and won the battle to reopen its amenities to all its citizens. Cape Town, which lodged a special application for open city status. And it was 40,000 Cape Townians who, in 1989, marched the full length of the city in protest against apartheid, triggering a wave of similar marches throughout the country and playing their part in the momentum that has carried South Africa to the brink of a new era. On a day that will be long remembered in the history of our city and our land, the newly released Nelson Mandela declared from the historic City Hall building,
I extend special greetings to the people of Cape Town. for 3 decades. Your mass marches and other forms of struggle have served as a constant source of strength to all political prisoners.
This is our credo, the foundation underpinning our dedication to a non-racial democratic society in which every one of our citizens may play a role. We, the Cape Town City Council, believe that it is the democratic right of all our people, regardless of race, color, gender or creed, to participate fully in the city and its city council. We are actively dedicated to change and to the achieving of an open society for all. This is our commitment, a commitment that rests on our firm and deeply held belief that the heart of Cape Town is its people.
There is a city that I dream of, lying beneath the mountain high, where the people live in peace and the trees reach up to the sky. Oh, imagine freedom.